We're talking with Dr. Larry McCleary. He's the author of Feed Your Brain, Lose Your Belly. We're all different. We all come in different shapes and sizes. Should we tweak our diets as such as well? We've previously talked about getting a lot of fish and the good fats that they provide, but some of the risks with some of the heavy metals. Talk about that and how we should maybe individualize how we do our diet.
Well, I think that's a great question, and I do not advocate one diet for everyone. However, we all have to abide by similar metabolic and physiologic rules. In other words, we all have cells, we all have cell membranes, we all have signaling pathways in our cells, and the cells have rules by which to live. And I think we have to follow those rules, but it's not in a black and white fashion. If it were, there would be one diet that would be good for everyone. But I think the best way to think about it is our metabolism is like a rheostat. That's how we're different. Some people are turned way down, some people are turned way up. And if you look at insulin metabolism and glucose metabolism, some people are much more sensitive to carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates, than others. Kids do very well, but if they keep eating too many refined carbohydrates, pretty soon they're going to get insulin resistant and fat and suffer from all of the problems of the metabolic syndrome. So I think that that's where the individualization of the diet comes in.
How do we know if we're getting enough of the good fats? Is there any way to find that out, or is it just based on how we feel or how we function?
Well, I think that the bottom line is how you feel and function. Okay, but if you want to test that, there are ways of doing it, and it's a process called a red blood cell biopsy. It sounds like a surgical procedure, but it's not really. The way it works is you draw a blood sample, and the red blood cells have cell membranes just like every cell, and the fat profile in red blood cells reflects the fat profile in brain cells, for example. So if you have a blood sample drawn and you send it to an appropriate lab, they can look at the fatty acid composition of your red blood cells, and that's probably the most accurate way to do it. I don't recommend that. I think if you eat a healthy diet of the type we've discussed, you're in pretty good shape.